check in with Chapter 4 and half of Chapter 5 of The Seven Who Were Hanged. In Chapter 4, we break away from the terrorists to another murder. A guy a Romanian in Russia, who doesn't speak much, servant, who is seems to have this rage in him, gets drunk, drives wildly, and one day just decides, oh, I'm going to kill my master, steal the money, and also, when the offhanded thing, tries to rape his master's wife after shooting, and usually it's going to be a fatal wound. And he gets put to prison, and he's kind of the kind of guy who just like, oh, after a while he just sort of basically forgets what he did. But he's very much like, when he gets condemned to death, is like, I shouldn't be hanged. And just that's a kind of a constant mantra throughout the thing, is like, I shouldn't be hanged. I shouldn't be hanged. And they and it kind of he has kind of a power struggle. He starts laughing at the jailers and the warden, who kind of like, you're desecrating the sacred ritual, like you're laughing at it. And at a certain point, they actually offer him to be the executioner of the terrorists, and he's like, nah. You find someone else, and they do find someone else, and he's going to be hanged. And it's like, I shouldn't be hanged. And it's even like someone like this, who is just like, just so contemptible, so basically no kind of consequences kind of a guy. You still feel kind of like, yeah, this is kind of degrading everyone around him to actually do this, to do this act, to do this state act, to kill him. So there's that. And then we go back to the terrorists, specifically the two that are going to actually have parents that they can meet. Some of them have parents that are like, they're too far away. Some of them are refusing to give their name, so they directly just don't have parents. And then we have the ones that actually do, and we've done the first one, who is Sergei Golovin, who mother and father comes, and indeed he expects this is way worse than actually the execution is, meeting his father, retired colonel, and his mother. That this is going to be the worst thing, and indeed it does feel like it is probably the worst thing. He sees he's basically kind of, his parents are, this is going to be the heavy blow that's going to kill his parents, that he's kind of put into motion there. The colonel's like, okay, we can't cry. He kind of gives all this advice to his wife, and then he breaks it all during the thing, and they're kissing. The mother gets kind of pissed at them. She's like been like kind of in her own kind of grief induced stupor, and at the end she's just like, fuck you, you kiss and you men, yes, and I. It's like, mother, and he rushes over, and what took place then is unnecessary and impossible to describe, which is a son embrace with his mother. And the last words of the colonel were, I give you my blessing for your death, Serge Yozia. Die bravely like an officer, which is probably the best thing that the colonel could say to his son. Whether what you think of that. So yes, that's the first meeting with parents. The other one is going to be Vasily Kasharin. To Vasily Kasharin, only his mother came, and I guess we'll see how that goes. His father, who was a wealthy tradesman, did not want to come. All right, so we'll get that tomorrow.